Hi Gerry.
Hi Chris.
Thanks for taking the time out to the
Pleasure.
interview.
My pleasure.
Just got a couple of questions just about what we've got going on today.
Yep.
And what you felt about it as well.
Yep.
Duncan was talking about, or the question was put to Duncan about people that have inspired him as leaders. Is there anybody in your past, your background, that has inspired you to become the leader you are just now?
Well, I spent 42, 43 years with Unilever.
Okay.
And I moved up here in '78. The leader who inspired me was then the head of Unilever, a chap called Ken Durham, from Bolton.
Right.
And Ken obviously had an extremely senior job, but had a particular way with him. Some may call it a little bit blunt,
Right.
but it was a spade, and I learnt a lot from him because I moved from the research side of Unilever into business, and he was very much one of the influential figures that started it.
So he helped kind of facilitate your change from a technical background to a more commercial background.
Believe it or not, I was a botanist.
Right.
And Ken Durham said to me, why does a botanist want to go into business management? Do you realise it's actually quite tough? Have you got the guts to do it? Have you got the nerve to do it? And of course in business I've found out how true that is.
Yes.
So my first job he gave me was to become industrial relations manager at Kirby factory in Liverpool. And I was about 4 years there, heading up the industrial relations. And that was in the 70s.
Right.
Well, that's a pretty hard background. So I learnt a lot there about leadership as well.
Following on from that, you've obviously said you've learnt a lot.
Yeah.
How do you then make that work in your own business, in your organisation? Is there traits that you've taken across, or have you developed your own skill?
I was very interested in one of the questions about style, about direction, or about consultation, the softly approach. When you hear Duncan, and then he said, but actually I try the softly approach. In all the work that I've done over many years, particularly with the trade unions, I've always used a partnership, social interaction approach, and it's always worked. And we've come through some extremely big issues with the trade unions, not just in this area, but in other areas of the UK. So I thought that was a very telling point in terms of a style to adopt for the future, which maybe people may have thought that his approach would be fairly aggressive, but clearly he's done pretty well.
Yes, no, I would have thought that myself as well.
Yeah.
As a leader yourself, what, for all the sort of the growing, aspirating leaders of the future, what sort of advice would you give them towards becoming a good leader in terms of steps to follow? Or
I think there are some basic principles. I think that the key one for me, and it's mainly possibly because of my background, is people. You've got to get to know the people that work for you. It's an old phrase, walk the job, but it is so important. The guys that you're leading don't want you to do the job, but they do want you to understand what it is you expect of them. And the only way you can do that is not through paper, not through emails, is to go and talk to people and have that dialogue. And that to me is one of the key principles for leadership. Have an active, proper dialogue, not just once a year.
Yes, okay. Focusing more on the sort of Cumbrian area now, is there any major challenges that you see Cumbria facing from a leadership point of view?
Enormous challenges. We've been through so much just in this past year with the floods and all the other social issues that we've had. But now with the nuclear business hopefully about to start again, not just decommissioning with the new generation, with New Generation Limited, all the work that's got to happen. This is our one opportunity for the business, for the community, for regeneration, to actually make it happen. And there are enormous challenges. We've got a new local enterprise partnership. We have the Energy Coast Vision Board. People are in place. I believe a lot of the right people are in place, but we've got to act very quickly. If we don't, it will be taken on by other parts of the country.
Do you then see this type of thing, this Centre for Leadership, key in that progression?
Absolutely key. Very impressed with the talk this morning. I'm an independent non-exec director of Nucleus, this building we're in, Energous. It's actually what we need, and I think if we can get the right people, good turnout today, which is very, very promising, we can get the right people here, then I think, yes, this can become the centre, can become the hub of what has to happen in Cumbria, not just West Cumbria. So a great start.
So you would agree that there is a great demand for training of leadership and the notice of leadership within the Cumbrian area?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've been retired now 3 years, but I'm still learning. You learn every day, particularly on leadership. I think this particular hub of excellence, I mean, just take what's going to happen today with this vote on the tuition fees. It may be that a lot of kids now maybe don't choose to go to university because they can't afford it or because of whatever reason. And they may start to think about entrepreneurship. They may start to think about running the business. So it's absolutely vital that we have good basic foundation leadership at the start.
One final question. A personal question. What are you going to do to ensure that you continue to develop leadership skills? Although being retired, you are a member of various boards, to sort of be influential and have people aspire to sort of your leadership skills that have worked, obviously.
I think that perhaps in the last 3 years while I've been retired, I've been on the board here. I've been on the board of West Lakes Renaissance, and I was chair of Cumbria CBI for 3 years. I know a lot of people, I have a lot of contacts, so that a big part of my role will be to bring people together, to facilitate, to help where I can. And if I can use my particular skills, whether they're in business, leadership or whatever, for this county, then that's what I'll do.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Gerry.